I could no longer hide away, that I was coming forward, and that I was going to be very honest in this album.
It doesn't take much, it never did. I could trace it back to when I was just a kid. I could walk around with a paper bag over my head and I never noticed it.
When I started to write the first song for this record, it was called If Not Now. And my feeling was, and I kept saying this to myself, if not now, when? That was my big thing. You know, when am I going to stop being scared? When am I going to start being courageous? How long am I going to keep doing what I've been doing and knowing it's not working? So this was the springboard then for all of the songs that came after. And while the last album took almost 3 years to finish, this one I was done writing it and was almost sorry when I was done because I have so much more I want to say, within 2 months. It just, every day almost, it was a different song, and it was just a very fertile time.
Invisible, like a ghost that lives inside a wall. Look at these two hands, look at these strong legs. I got this free will, I got this joy.
I have to say I'm not real proud of it, but I think I was starting to feel pretty angry, and that's why I began to write. At the end of this whole album, I stopped being angry. But the fact that they're now saying, no, the truth of it is that we wrote the song, that what Lori's been saying is an urban myth. And it made me feel like, was I lying? Did this not happen? It almost had a quality of almost of a little bit of almost of an abused wife.
Like breathing out and breathing in, unchangeable, it's just the way.
What would the ingredients be for a young girl to be manipulated? Well, you take, you know, parental strife, and you add and you hide the world away, and you act as though you're the only one that matters, and you write about her family, and you go through her diaries, you know, and you tell her what to say, what to sing, especially for a singer who doesn't have a voice.
They never noticed it. It doesn't take much, now that I'm older still.
About 6 months ago, I was performing at a club in New York, and my cousins in Maine asked if they could bring their friend, and it was Patricia McLean. It was his wife, and she was lovely. And they invited me to Don's concert, and this was now 2 months ago. So for the first time, I'm sitting in the audience with my husband and with Patricia here, and Don McLean's on stage, and he says, Lori Lieberman, right? You know, and it was a big audience. It's like, you know, yeah. And he said, 40 years ago, she was sitting in the Troubadour in the audience, and she heard me sing Empty Chairs, and she wrote a poem on a napkin, and that poem became Killing Me Softly. And she was the first to record it, and I want to sing the song again to you. And he sang Empty Chairs to me, and oh my God, I can't tell you what this meant to me.
That lives inside a wall. Look at these two hands, look at these strong legs. I got this free will, I got this choice to make. I can run or I can kneel, I can hide.
I lived in a house of a very dynamic and colorful father, and I have 2 sisters, I'm the middle. And we moved around a lot, and he was the whole show. My father was Hugh Hefner, and there was not very much room for anybody else. He used up all the air in the room. And for me to be a singer, it wasn't something that was encouraged. I always sang privately, and it was hard to compete. So often, and especially when we first moved to Switzerland, you know, life was not that easy, but we never would ever dare say that. So I could walk around with tears in my eyes, and it wasn't really something that there was any room for.
So unreachable, in a sea I was just giving in to live a life inside this shell.
I've learned how to kind of shrug and just say, what the hell, doesn't matter now. And it's way better being flexible. And in my life and my work, it's such a much better way.
Melt this steel or bend like steel.
I always felt when I was like 30 years old that by the time I was 40, I'd have it all together. And then when I was 40, I thought when I was 50, I'd have it all together. But I realized that it's just all a process, and that even at this age, I'm still changing. And I'm very proud of all my years, all my scars, and all of my experiences. And I'm proud to be 60 and still doing music and having probably more passion for it than I ever did.